If you want to know the secret to growing heaps of veggies in your patch, like the team here at Paddington Community Garden, then this one's for you. We all know that fruit and veg are full of nutrients, which are good for us, of course, but they're essential for a plant's growth. All these minerals come from somewhere, and that somewhere is the soil. Plants draw nutrients from the soil up through their roots. And as the seasons change and you harvest your crops, the soil can become depleted. So if you want to make sure there's nutrients available for your next round of planting, it's time to supercharge your soil. The process of making synthetic fertilisers takes a lot of energy and can have a big environmental impact. So today, I'm going to show you some soil additives that are made from organic materials instead. The simplest and cheapest way to naturally supercharge your soil is to make your own compost with your food scraps and garden clippings. It's ready when it gets this beautiful, crumbly texture and a nice earthy aroma to it. Compost is packed full of organisms that give your soil a massive boost. It not only adds good bacteria and microbes to your soil, it also provides a home and food for them. As all those microscopic little organisms get to work breaking down organic matter, they're also making nutrients more available for plants to take up. This compost has been built over about 6 months by adding a ratio of around 40% green materials to 60% brown materials. Now, green materials are things like your food scraps or garden clippings. They're full of nitrogen. Brown materials are things like cardboard, leaves, and sawdust. They're full of carbon. Too much green material and it'll become wet and stinky. Too much brown and it'll become dry and won't break down. If you're struggling to find enough brown material in your garden, try putting a container of sawdust next to your compost bin and adding a scoop every time you add some green. Make sure you've got at least 2 compost bins so you can keep adding to one while the other can be left to rest and break down. Whenever you're starting a fresh compost pile, begin by adding a shovelful of finished compost. It's a super boost of microbes and worm eggs to get your new pile going. Worm castings is the somewhat euphemistic word for worm poo. So what happens in a worm farm like this is you put your food scraps in, the worms eat it, and when it passes through them, they leave behind this stuff, worm castings. Now, if you don't have space for a worm farm, or you might not even have space for a compost bin, you can always buy worm castings and compost from your local nursery or garden centre. Worm castings and compost both improve the soil structure and help with water retention. Worm castings are full of an incredibly diverse mix of microbes and good bacteria, as well as mycorrhizal fungi. The tiny threads can extend the reach of plant roots and make it easier for them to take up water and nutrients. Worm castings are also a great source of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, all things your plants need. Pelletised chicken manure is a natural fertiliser made from composted chicken poo. Now, if you've got chickens at home, you can compost their poo yourself. If not, it's available in ready-to-use bags. The key is that the pellets break down slowly, releasing the nutrients gradually. Pelletised chicken manure also improves soil structure, but the main reason to add it is because it's high in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Leafy greens and veggies need all these things, so this is a really important addition. If you can stomach it, blood and bone is a classic organic fertiliser. The blood component contains slow-release nitrogen, and the bone is full of calcium and phosphorus. Nitrogen supports leafy growth, and the phosphorus will help the growth of strong roots and healthy flowers and fruit. I've got a couple of buckets of compost and a decent handful of each of the others. I've given them a good mix and now they're ready to add to this raised garden bed. This quantity will do about 1 square metre of soil, and to protect it, always add some mulch to help keep the soil moist and slow down weeds. And did you know that snow peas are also soil superheroes? Their roots make the soil crumbly and loose for other crops to follow, especially leafy greens. Snow peas are legumes, and they add atmospheric nitrogen to the soil through a symbiotic relationship with rhizobia bacteria on their roots. When their roots are left in the soil, they decompose and release the nitrogen. Nature has plenty of soil superchargers raring to go. Your veggies are as hungry for nutrients as you are, so in between crops, be sure to feed your soil with all the good stuff.